going on? Today we're going to be reviewing the model that I am using to scale to 5 figures day trading on prop firms. A little bit of backstory on me. I've only been trading for about 3 months now. I've already taken my first 2 payouts from Top Step, and if all plays out well this month, I should profit $6,000 or $7,000. And next month, I intend on scaling up to 5 figures and beyond. This video is almost exclusively for one person, Peter. I know you're watching. He's been commenting on all my videos for complete review of my strategy. My strategy essentially captures 2 things, continuations and reversals. So I will explain that as we get into the session. I'm going to be reviewing this starting. Why am I doing that? Can we just get to the charts, please? There we go. We're going to be simulating on a 150K account. I'm going to show you guys the strategy that I use. I'll type some things out first just to make it quick. The first thing I look for is high time frame bias. Then I look for a high time frame PD array. That can be anything like a fair value gap, really just a fair value gap. I don't really look at order blocks or any other PD array. Fair value gaps are my favorite. So I'll just say high time frame fair value gap. And then I look for SMT plus liquidity sweep. And then the last thing I look for is a lower time frame fair value gap or CISD or a combo of the two. This is essentially my strategy to a T. Nothing really changes ever from these 4 simple things. So get your notes out, write that down. If you're curious what the win rate is, it's about 70%. My daily win rate is in the low 80s. And my average RR is 1 to 1.5. I'm actually working on getting that RR to be higher because I find that my trades generally run pretty long after my final take profit. So I'll use an example here on this session here. This is S&P. This is NASDAQ. Okay, great. Wow, that's a big SMT. This doesn't really mean too much to us because the move already happened, but wow, that's a big SMT. Yeah, this happened during New York session. I should have started the day before. Wow, this would have been a super easy trade. NASDAQ day. Like literally, you could have top tick this. You could top tick this movement basically. Wow, that's something. Anyways, let's move on. That's not the point. So here I would have a bearish bias. We were clearly bullish, but then we have a CISD on the 4-hour here. So I just find my daily bias. This is a change in the state, and then we also inversed this 4-hour fair value gap. I would mark this out. Let's add a middle line. We're gonna make this sucker black and dotted. I should have all my presets saved on this, but I just don't. I would mark this out on both ES and on NASDAQ, but NASDAQ actually doesn't have it. So we have a change in the state. We also inverse a 4-hour fair value gap that we're tapped into now. Oh, it's not even, did I skip through market open? How the hell did that happen? How the hell did that happen? I didn't skip, what the fuck happened here? All right, well, I guess we're not trading this day. That's unfortunate. Let's go to Tuesday, I suppose. Okay, so still bearish here. Actually, I might not be. I might be bullish. This is a bullish SMT on the 4-hour. So this one's interesting because the higher time frame bias is clearly bearish, but we do put in a pretty big SMT. Like a very, very big SMT. Wow, that's something. Maybe we just want to retrace into these higher time frame PD arrays. So I'm going to mark these out. I'd imagine that we consolidate in this range here. So I'm just going to mark out this range right here. God, I need to update my settings on this. Visibility. Or happened there. Cancel. How do I get rid of these buttons here? Okay, bang, 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 bang. There we go. So we have the equilibrium of our range identified, right? It's a little bit higher on ES. But yeah, top of this move right here. This is the range I'd be looking at, kind of the weekly opening range, if you will. A little bit beyond that, but this is a pretty important spot of liquidity. I didn't mention equilibrium in my strategy, but I also do use equilibrium the same way you'd use a draw on liquidity. So here I'd be looking for longs on NASDAQ. Even though the higher time frame bias is going to be bearish, I just think that we'd want to see some sort of consolidation to equilibrium before continuing lower, and also maybe tapping into these imbalances here. So this is kind of what it looks like when I chart out. These are the first things that I'll look at. But yeah, really big SMT. I'd want to see these hold up. So these are the first things I'm looking at. Let's look at the 1 hour. I don't think there's going to be anything too special there. Yeah, same deal. Just, oh, we actually had again, another thing here. We have a CISD on the 1 hour. Let me make sure it closes that way. Yeah, we have a CISD on the 1 hour. So this is another thing that would confirm my bullish bias for the day is a CISD on the 1 hour. We don't get that CISD on S&P though, which is interesting. But still, I would be looking for longs on NASDAQ here. So let's drop down to the 15-minute, see if there's anything that we need for our entry. I want to be looking for longs basically right as market opens. We could be looking for retracement into these 15-minute SIBIs or BISIs here, excuse me. These are things worth noting. I'm not really going to mark that out on ES because we're looking at NASDAQ. Maybe drop down to a lower, like a, let's see, a 5-minute here really quick actually before I start simulating. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock, macro opened. It's also another thing I generally wait for the macro to open. But yeah, let's go to the 1 minute on both and start looking for entries. So we saw that SMT get put in. It was a while ago. And the move up kind of already happened though. Yeah, this move up kind of already happened. You know, I think if we tried to catch, I mean, we are still in a discounted range. Yeah, let's just wait for let's just look for retracement and continuation. Let's just click forward here, see what we get. Wix. I wouldn't mind entering off of this, but this is also a lot of low resistance liquidity. I think I need to zoom out one more time. Zoom out just one more time. Because again, it kind of feels like this move up from the... Oh, it's actually not a finished. Let's wait for this candle to close, see how it respects this fair value gap. Or it's not even a fair value gap, but... Okay, so that didn't happen there. I'd want to wait for retracement into this fair value gap here on the 15-minute. See if we get it. Maybe we end up putting in a SMT on... Yeah, we put in another SMT here. So I might actually be looking for longs on ES. Because the most recent SMT on the 15-minute. Let's see how this candle closes, though. Yeah, so we have an SMT on the 15-minute. We're tapped into consequent encroachment of this range here. Yeah, let's drop down to a lower time frame. Yeah, we have a 1 minute IFVG. I clicked a little bit too fast, but where did the SMT take place? I think actually the smart move would be to take this move on ES because the most recent SMT was put in on ES. Could also wait for a change in the state. That is a change in state. Yeah, I'll take this trade on ES. So let's see where the SMT was put in at, and we'll make sure that those lows act as our stop loss. And again, I haven't looked at these charts. Like, I'm not pretending to not know what's going on. It was these 8 o'clock lows that got taken. And then these 8 o'clock lows definitely didn't get taken by NASDAQ. This is actually, so SMTs are something where I'm at a point that I'm not taking, was it 915? I'm not taking a trade nowadays without an SMT because I feel like it's such a big precursor to a big move up. You can also see NASDAQ being very respectful of the range on this FVG. So yeah, I feel like we're just going to want to push higher into equilibrium. It's not charted out perfectly, but you get the gist. CISD on the 1 minute. We are going to enter on this candle right here. And we'll put our stops. I guess, you know, I guess we could just put our stops at this last low right here. Just target these highs for a 3R. But I don't know if I'd let it play out this whole way. Let's just target these highs up here. Make sure we don't put in any SMTs on NASDAQ. Very similar. Oh, we also do get a change in the state on NASDAQ too. So yeah, all the puzzle pieces are coming together. We'll risk 1%. See what we get. Pushing up higher. Again, I just want to make sure we don't put in any SMTs. 925 highs have yet to be taken. I'd want to see how we treat this fair value gap. If we close underneath it, I just premature. Maybe stops to break even here. What's NASDAQ doing? Don't love that. I kind of wanted to move stops to break even, but we'll just let it run. If it loses, it loses. Nope, we're pushing up higher. Again, make sure we're not putting any SMTs. 921 highs. NASDAQ took them out before ES. What we'd want to see is ES keep pushing higher. We are. So what you want to do, if an SM, this is actually, I'm just recently implementing this. If you see some sort of SMT get put in like this, that's contradicting to your narrative, just close half your position, right? Realize some P&L and then move your stops to break even. Because we like, look at how far. So NASDAQ just took out the 921 highs. If you look at the 921 highs on ES, we are very, very, very far away from those highs. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but it's not guaranteed we hit those. All right, what are we at right now? Where's 2R level? We'll take more partials at 2R. Okay, we would have wicked it there. Let's close just 25%, and then we will move. We'll start trailing a stop here. And then we'll let this run. We could just let it run to equilibrium. But that would be, you know, kind of nuts. I mean, might as well just let it run to equilibrium, right? We have stops set. NASDAQ took out the highs at 903. Where are the 903 highs? ES has yet to do so. So yeah, let's just let this run. Yep, hits our stop loss. But still, that day we realized, you know, 1,700 in PNL. Strategy worked out. We'll remove drawings and go on to the next day. I'm not going to take a ton of trades here. Just kind of, I don't really back test a ton now because I probably spent, if I had to guess, 70, 80 hours back testing this year. First thing I see, really big displacement move. So let's go to the 4 hour here, get an idea, realize our range. So 4 hour. So our higher time frame narrative was correct. As you can see, we did end up tapping into that fair value gap here, but we rejected these ones. I don't know if I still have a bullish bias going, oh, we just put in an SMT. My bias, I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, first thing I see here, SMT. What lows are these? Oh, it's technically not an SMT. Is it? Yes, it is. Because these are the... So we have the SMT incorrect. Yeah, no. Okay, I got a bit ahead of myself. These are... Yeah, but ES still hasn't taken those. ES has not taken those. But I don't think that's going to impact anything. That was at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know if I'm feeling... You know what they say, if you're feeling froggy, then jump. I don't know. I don't know. It looks bearish. Looks bearish. Looks bearish. Looks bearish. I don't really have anything much more to say than that. Changing the state over the weekend. And this big sell-off here. But we took out most of this low resistance liquidity. And again, if you look at our range, even the previous weekly range, right? You look at the range from Monday at market open, right? Let's take this range here, right? Like we are literally at the biggest discount you could possibly imagine in a market that's been otherwise, pretty bullish, for the past couple of weeks. So I don't really see a reason here to think that we're going to continue any lower. That's just how I'm kind of reading this right now. Again, I could say the same thing for NASDAQ. Just take our weekly opening range. All right, I think I got that right. Yeah, just take the, I was gonna say. But yeah, I don't really see anything that would tell me. Again, the overall narrative has been that we're bearish, and even lower time frame says that. But essentially, the question would be, where's our draws on liquidity? What here? Like, we could go for these resting lows, but we also have this fair value gap in here. So this is a day where I wouldn't have a I could literally see price going at any. Hello, Control Shift R. What the fuck? Okay, I was about to get really upset. Alt Shift R? Like, why aren't you giving me my rectangles? All right, now we got it. Fantastic. Love that. This is why I don't backtest anymore. No, I'm kidding. So we have these 4-hour imbalances that we did respect the consequent encroachment of, which, again, that's another narrative that we want to go lower here. I just don't have a super duper strong bias right here. I kind of just want to see how price behaves. Did we look on the 1 hour yet? Even then, we have so much low resistance liquidity. All right, I'm going to look at the 15-minute. And also, if you're like, when just get to your entry, like the entry is probably the least important part of the trade. The entry is the easiest part, just IFVG, CISD. But having an idea of where price wants to go is what I've realized has been the important part for me. So on the 15-minute, we have this SIBI on both NASDAQ and ES. We have a little SMT ski here. This is a bearish SMT. So this is something that might tell me, hey, maybe price does want to go lower. We'd have to see how this candle closes, but yeah, we do see price wanting to go lower. This looks like a data wick. I'm also not looking at news. Oh, yeah, okay, so this is just easy peasy then. We're going to go short. These data wicks get filled. I just watched something on this. But there's 9 a.m. news. Right? Oh, no, it's Wednesday. 7:30 news is all there is. Yeah, okay, so we had a data wick form from 7:30. Super strong draw on liquidity. Drop down to the 1 minute, look for an entry. Technically, we're not in a premium to be shorting, but the SMT getting put in, strong draw on liquidity. On ES more so. I think we get more points on ES. But let's drop down to the 5 minute, just double check. 5 minute, working from the top down. This candle, what time is it? This candle just opened and we're already disrespecting this fair value gap here. 735 lows get taken. This would be kind of thin, so I don't know if I'd go for this. And by thin, I mean like, I'm basically basing this off of a 15-minute. Maybe if we close underneath this, though. Let's see what price does. We do. It's not horrible. This isn't my favorite, but it still does kind of hold. We can get a 2R off of it. But outside of that, I don't really see where price would want to go. But these data wicks are such a strong draw on liquidity. I would maybe just de-risk here a little bit. Like I'd maybe just take a 1-to-1 on this. So it's just kind of like a coin flip, if you will. But I have a bit, I have pretty strong confluence. Again, like here, it's not like, calling it a coin flip is kind of a degradation to what I'm doing. But it's really strong draw on liquidity with this data wick. Again, I can't really tell you if it's in line with higher time frame order flow. But, let's just see how this goes. And these data wicks tend to be pretty strong draws. And there we go. We get filled. So, again, that wasn't my favorite trade. But, again, these SMTs, if you look at when the SMT got put in, right, look at these highs right here. These SMTs tend to be pretty freaking powerful. There was honestly a lot of opportunity here for better entries if we wanted to enter just on an SMT and a liquidity sweep. Like the fact that NASDAQ sweeps these highs. You could have entered on this short. You could have entered on this candle here, stops above the highs and targeting, again, the data lows from 730. But the 730 data lows just weren't as prominent on NASDAQ. Still got a little 2R. Maybe do one more trade just where it's like, maybe a little bit cleaner. Because again, that one, I didn't love that entry as much. I still probably would have taken it in real time. But again, you see that I de-risk a little bit. I'm not chasing as high of an RR. Why am I doing it like this? 4 hour. Ooh, 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 ooh. We are inversing. We are inversing. We inverse this 1 minute or this 4 hour fair value gap here. But I'm actually going to mark out. Actually, no, we can't do that quite yet. So we inverse this 4 hour fair value gap on NASDAQ and ES. And on top of that, there's another 4 hour fair value gap resting above. It's right next to it on NASDAQ, but not on ES. There's no other fair value gap there. So again, generally, I'm looking for continuations or reversals. We broke outside of our range here. I didn't anticipate that to happen. Let's look at our weekly range. Again, we're really deep. If you look at weekly range from London session or New York session open, we're still in premium. We inverse this fair value gap on S&P and NASDAQ. Weekly opening range is here. Again, same deal. Oh, that's the wrong button. Same deal. We're in a discount. Inverse to 4 hour FVG. Also had a change in the state on the 4 hour. Series of down close candles followed by an up close candle that sure engulfs them. So yeah, here I'm feeling pretty bullish. Go to 15-minute, see if we spot anything to help with our entry. There's another 15-minute fair value gap here on ES. Is it there on NASDAQ? No. Any SMTs? Not that I can see off the top of me. Oh. Yeah, no SMTs. Okay, we'll just keep clicking forward here. See what we got. We're pushing higher, pushing higher, pushing higher. Again, I'd want to see some sort of retracement before continuation. Or just put in a small SMT. Let's see how this candle closes. Now they both take out those lows. So this is a volume SMT. Wait, no, it's not. I'm tripping. What is this that I marked out on NASDAQ? Is this some sort of 4 hour imbalance? Yes. So NASDAQ taps into this 4 hour imbalance. Okay. I'm feeling like we're getting closer to our entry. I'm not quite there yet. Let me go back to the 15-minute. I like to watch the 15-minute so I can see if any CI or if any SMTs get put in. Did we just put one in? So we did just put in a bullish SMT. NASDAQ takes out the 845 lows, and ES fails to do so. I should put that on a t-shirt. Did I say that all the time? ES takes out these lows, NASDAQ fails to do so. And NASDAQ is also running through this imbalance that had already been ran through, so revisiting. So I'd probably want to see NASDAQ or ES hit consequent encroachment of this range and then continue higher. So I'm just looking for, now I'm looking for my entry because I've seen enough confluence that price wants to go higher. Yeah, okay. So ES taps into it, completely disrespects it. We'll go, oh no, I should be taking this on NASDAQ, excuse me, because it's the leading index. We don't quite get there on NASDAQ quite yet. Okay, now we're there. So I want to put my stop at the lows that created the SMT, which is these lows right here. And then what am I targeting here? All this turtle soup. I'll target, I don't think we're going to get all the way up to these highs, but what day is it today? Thursday. You know what? Maybe we do end up getting back to equilibrium. I'm not going to let this full 7R play out most likely, but, you know, I would chart it out, you know, because, you know, you never know. Risk 1%. And then, again, we'll kind of manage the trade as it's ongoing. Maybe it goes right to stop loss, but, you know, we just want to see how this plays out. We have a lot of confluence that price wants to go higher. Oh, that's ugly. Really nice displacement candle here. Now we're just kind of chopping. Oh, did we have news? I didn't even think about that. 9 a.m. news, 7:30. No, nothing today. Okay, let's see how this plays out. Continue higher. Make sure we don't put in any SMTs. So ES just took out these 10 o'clock highs. 10:18, 10:19. We want to see NASDAQ hit these highs. I want to move stops to break even here. If and when we take out these highs, that's when we'll start to scale back a little bit. Okay, here we go. So any SMTs put in 10-12, 10-12. Let's see NASDAQ take, actually just put in the SMT. We're not going to scale back our whole position, just a little bit. We just want to see NASDAQ take out these highs. Nope. Yeah, stopped out at break even. So that's why we scale our positions, because you could see an SMT got put in. What happened? Let's see if it would have ran to our stop loss. So yeah, that literally saved us the trade. So again, a couple little gems in there for you guys. Went 3 for 3 over 3 days, profited $3,700 on this demo account. If I wanted to, you know, not get greedy, so to say, but, you know, if I would have just taken profit on this last trade, I wouldn't have even hit my full 1.5 RR. So realistically, you know, wasn't a super great trade, but I think the setup was there. If you have any questions, comment down below. See you in the next video.